So we've recently got some very terrible news regarding factions from Luke Smith, the man himself. He's all but confirmed factions and faction rallies are officially retired and aren't being worked on behind the scenes. And here's exactly what Luke's statement was. Lots of folks have been wondering if faction rallies will return. We have no plans to bring back faction rallies. The reward gear hasn't been used that much, our character cast is growing too large, and crucially they didn't drive a bunch of engagement with the game. That said, there are some sweet looks in that gear and we're moving the faction rally armor to legendary engram reward pools in Season 10 alongside a few popular faction weapons. So let's take a look at the positives. They finally addressed factions. But damn, this is not what I wanted to hear from them on the topic of factions. For me, Destiny's factions were one of my favorite aspects of the game during Destiny 1, and while I'll agree with Luke that faction rallies in Destiny 2 were unengaging, it sucks that they've chosen to shelve them rather than improve them or return factions to their original design we saw in Destiny 1. And for those of you who didn't play in Destiny 1, factions were an extremely important part of progression and were some of the most major vendors in the game at the time. New Monarchy, Future War Cult, and Dead Orbit, these names really meant something to us D1 players. During year 1 of Destiny 1, they could be leveled up by wearing a class item specific to that faction. Leveling them would make you eligible to purchase some pretty cool armor and weapons, as well as reward faction packages that contained randomized weapons and armor. Does anyone else remember those faction package opening videos every single day of your life?
Boom, bam, bop.
People were pumped out of their mind just to see what faction weapons or shaders or ships they could get, and it was super exciting. Each DLC release, or what would be equivalent to a season in Destiny 2, these weapons and armor pieces would go away and couldn't be obtained anymore. Weapons like the Red Hand 9, the Vanquisher 8, the Hung Jury, people coveted these gems because shortly these fantastic weapons would then be replaced by new stuff. This is an aspect of Destiny 2 that is severely lacking. Destiny 2's tower and world vendors have never been able to garner a similar hype around weapons and armor. Even Xur has been an absolute joke in Destiny 2. Factions in Destiny 1 were a very big part of the game for all the right reasons, and Taken King would improve upon them, introducing the pledge mechanic and adding quests for exotic class items. These faction tower vendors were so simple, but the hype around their inventory, their shaders, their ultra rare ships, and the continuous progression and earning of rank up packages kept people like myself playing and always interested in them. That's why I really don't understand the decision to simply cut them out entirely. The Destiny 1 faction system worked perfectly for the game, and I believe they still have a place in Destiny 2. Oh well, I don't make the decisions at Bungie. And on the topic of tower vendors, you know what else should return? Arms Day. Banshee 44 was another tower vendor that was far more engaging than he ever has been in Destiny 2. Arms Day was again something very simple, but kept players always anticipating a potential god roll from one of Banshee's packages. I still remember my God Roll PDX 45 from one of these packages, and it was just another great concept that has been stripped from the game and hasn't seen a return. All of this talk of great ideas and systems from Destiny 1 that haven't been introduced in Destiny 2 just baffles me, and I think we're still feeling the effects of the horrible launch that was Destiny 2 at release. So many great ideas stripped and ruined or removed entirely, and I just cannot wrap my head around why. Why do this, Bungie? The groundwork was already laid. So many things worked in Destiny 1. Why are you taking away some of the best features and never bringing them back? I was just discussing the other night with a buddy of mine that Destiny 1 was in a damn near perfect state at the end of year 3, pre-Destiny 2. Of course, it had its problems, specifically with the state of PvP after Age of Triumph, but the PvE side of the game, the economy, the tower, and other social space vendors, and the leveling, it was in a very, very good place, and it's hard to believe that Destiny 2 launched the way that it did. It still is dude, how? Even 3 years into Destiny 2, it does not even compare to Destiny 1 by the end. I know there's a lot of people who don't agree with that and think Destiny 2 is some far superior game than Destiny 1, but I don't know. I'm just not one of those people. I mean, nobody can convince me the game is in a better place now than it was at the end of D1. So many things worked hand in hand. All the leveling and progression systems just worked perfectly in tandem. And on top of that, Eververse was there, yes, but it didn't completely hijack so many aspects of the loot. Man, it was simpler times back then. And man, I just miss Destiny 1. It was a better designed game. Anyways, guys, sorry for that big rant. I love Destiny, and there's so many great things from Destiny 1 that have just been completely abandoned and not reintroduced, and it's so surprising to me. Anyways, that's the end of my rant, guys. That's the end of the video too, so I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got through it without thinking I'm just some sort of D1 nostalgia crazy person. But honestly, guys, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Destiny 1 was in a better place overall than Destiny 2? Because I am a firm believer that they had it so right with so many aspects of Destiny 1, with the loot systems and the progression systems, and Destiny 2 is still playing catch up. I don't think it's even close to Destiny 1's state of quality of life or anything. It's still leagues behind, in my opinion. Destiny 1 still is the superior title. But that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.